Breaking news coming in at the top of the broadcast. The C-130J transport of the Bangladesh Air Force took off from the Hindon Air Base in the morning today around 9 a.m. and is moving towards its next destination. Indian security agencies are monitoring it closely. These are what sources are saying as far as the whereabouts of Sheikh Hasina is concerned. We are now given to understand that the C-130J transport of the Bangladesh Air Force, possibly carrying Sheikh Hasina, took off from the Hindon Air Base where she landed yesterday towards its next destination. What the next destination will be, we'll get you all those details, but the latest we have is at 9 a.m. the C-130J transport has took off from the Hindon Air Base here in Ghaziabad in India. So Sheikh Hasina possibly likely to move to her next destination now, will be reaching there shortly after her plane took off. All right, the latest that we're getting on that case regarding the whereabouts of Sheikh Hasina, her next destination is likely to be London, which is what sources are suggesting at the moment. But what we do know, and it's confirmed, that the C-130J transport of the Bangladesh Air Force has taken off from Hindon Air Base this morning at about 9 a.m. It's moving towards its next destination, possibly the UK, and will be reaching there shortly. Indian securities are currently monitoring the situation. My colleague Aditya joining us live. Aditya, what is the latest that we are getting? Where is Sheikh Hasina destined to?
Well, it's unclear right now what the next destination of the former Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina, would be. But reports are now indicating that C-130J Hercules aircraft of the Bangladesh Air Force, in which Sheikh Hasina landed yesterday, has taken off at around 9 a.m. from the Hindon Air Base in Ghaziabad in India. There are reports that it could be moving towards Dubai or UK. If in case it is Dubai, then she could take a halt in Dubai and then take a civilian aircraft towards UK and then seek political asylum in London. There were hectic diplomatic negotiations that were underway yesterday. She took an overnight technical halt in India. India was, of course, gracious enough to welcome Sheikh Hasina and allow her stay in India at a time when there was massive violence that was underway across Bangladesh. Sheikh Hasina, as I said, has been trying to get a political asylum, not in India, but in some country far away, including the UK. There were reports of her being in contact with a couple of European countries as well. But it'll only be clear in the next couple of hours where Sheikh Hasina is headed. But as of now, it's not even clear whether Sheikh Hasina is on that plane or not, because last night there were reports that Sheikh Hasina could stay in India for a couple of nights, and perhaps the Bangladesh Air Force plane will move to another Indian Air Force, base for a technical halt. So details are very sketchy at this point in time, but we'll have to wait and watch how things unfold over the next few hours.
All right, details are sketchy as far as Sheikh Hasina's whereabouts and her next destination is concerned. But remember, she landed at Hindon Air Base here in Ghaziabad in India yesterday after a situation badly unfolded for her in Bangladesh, resigning as the Prime Minister of Bangladesh. Sheikh Hasina is likely to now move to UK. That is what sources are suggesting at the moment. She is likely seeking asylum. Their details are being worked out. But Aditya, she was received very graciously, as you mentioned, in India yesterday in what looked like a coup-like situation.
Absolutely. It was a coup-like situation and very aggressive violence for days together underway in Bangladesh. Yesterday, when Sheikh Hasina resigned and situation one would have assumed would calm a little, did not. There was big violence that was reported across Bangladesh. In fact, I've been monitoring developments across the country overnight as well, where firing and clashes have been reported. Monday was one of the deadliest days in Bangladesh history since independence. 135 people were killed all across Bangladesh, as compared to around 105 people on Sunday. So clashes are continuing at this point. There were minorities and temples that were under attack as well. But situation will take time to calm down. There's an interim government that's been announced and perhaps will take oath in the next 24 hours to stabilize the situation. And perhaps in the next 30 to 90 days, we'll see the next course of action, whether there will be democratic elections in Bangladesh, which will have BNP, the Awami League, and of course the Jamaat. But it's amply clear that the opposition, BNP and Jamaat, will be in the next government in some form or the other. But situation very tricky still, and a massive challenge for the army in Bangladesh to stabilize the situation. Many had, speculated that there could be a military rule or coup, but that's, difficult because at a time when, there was a democratic government in power, and of course the army chief is a relative of Sheikh Hasina. So the army and the air force have made it, importantly clear that there needs to be a smooth transition of power and ensure the safety of Sheikh Hasina.
All right, that is the latest as far as Bangladesh is concerned. There is likely to be an interim government constituting of leaders from BNP and other opposition parties. The army has announced forming an interim government. Whether it's going to be a democratic process in days and months to come, that is to be decided later. But Sheikh Hasina and her whereabouts unconfirmed at the moment. We do know that her plane left at about 9 a.m. this morning from the Hindon Air Base here in India. Her next course of destination perhaps is going to be clear in next couple of hours. All right, Aditya, thank you very much for taking time out. Thank you for joining us on that very important developing story. Violence, we are given to understand, is continuing in Bangladesh after turmoil for 30 consecutive days. Sheikh Hasina resigned from her position as the Prime Minister yesterday. She fled to India. She is likely to be on course to her next destination. We don't know her whereabouts just as yet, but she is actively seeking asylum in the UK.